Welcome to 5 Good Minutes.
You're listening to today's inspirational message on the book of Ecclesiastes with Dan Irvin.
Well, welcome back to 5 Good Minutes this week as we are taking a look at the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 1. And today I want to look at Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 4. And it says this: generations come and generations go, but the earth remains forever. You know, I don't know if you've ever stood on the shore, on the beach, and just watched the waves. You know, they crash, they recede, they crash again. There's a beauty to it. There's a predictability as well. It really never changes. I mean, there's storms that affect the patterns and the tides, but there's a certain, the ocean will be there tomorrow. And Ecclesiastes uses this kind of image to describe life in this verse. Generations come, generations go, yet the earth remains. The sun rises and sets, the wind blows in a certain direction. Life has a rhythm. But sometimes, if we're honest, that rhythm can feel a little bit monotonous, even a little bit, what are we doing here? Futile in many ways. And I think for a lot of us, this is reality. We wake up, we go to our job, we come home, we go to bed, and then there's a sense we repeat, we do it again. And no matter what achievement, we strive for or what happens in our life, there's always another, there's always the next, there's always a new deadline, a new task, another wave. And I think often maybe you wonder, is this really all there is? The culture we live in today, it believes in progress and moving forward. And, I think often you can tell yourself that with enough hard work and innovation, we can transcend this cycle of life and we can create something that's different. There's technology that promises to save us time. There's medicine that promises to extend our lives, and success that promises to make all of this worthwhile. But really, this message in Ecclesiastes, it hits us and confronts us with an uncomfortable reality that while the world around us may change, our hearts really don't change. And here's what I mean by that. Our hearts, we're always restless, always searching, always trying to find meaning in things that ultimately won't satisfy us. And the even more difficult reality is that without God in our lives, even our greatest achievements will be swallowed up by the passage of time, by another wave crashing. Generations come and go, but the earth remains. But think about Jesus for a second. As Jesus enters this cycle, not as just another wave, but as the one who breaks the cycle. His life, his death, his resurrection, they weren't just parts of history. They were the ultimate disruption of history, of the cycle. His resurrection wasn't just a continuation of the old, someone dies and we move on, but it was a beginning of something entirely new. So through Jesus, through his life, his death, his resurrection, if we trust in him, if we put our hope in him, we're invited into a story that doesn't end in futility. The monotony of life under the sun is transformed by the hope of life beyond the sun. And this is the beauty of the good news, that it can redeem even our most ordinary tasks. If we're doing the dishes, if we're driving to work, if we're caring for our family, whatever it may be, those small, repetitive tasks, they aren't meaningless. Because in Christ, they can become part of something eternal. The waves of our life, no matter how monotonous they feel, are carried by the tide of God's redemptive purpose. So the question, are you living under the sun, just under the sun, or are you living in light of the Son of God? Because it's only in Jesus that we can find rest from the endless cycle and hope that lasts beyond this life. we can turn to Jesus today and we can invite him in to break this cycle in our hearts.
Thanks for joining us here today. There's a lot of great content to explore on Orchard Hill Plus and on the Orchard Hill main feed from the weekend. Have a great day.